Mean as can be, baby. Oh, Vacation Andy.
I know, Vacation Andy.
Vacation
I'm
Andy.
still a little bit on island time. I don't wear a watch, but I just draw one
Well,
on because that's island time.
people are obviously confused. We're on Zoom today. I know you're in Vacation Andy mode, but I'm obviously the one at the beach. So appreciate you accommodating my schedule. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, sorry. I'm just so relaxed. I didn't really hear you there, but that's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, I feel like Vacation Andy hasn't made an appearance on the podcast in like 2 years. So I thought he
No,
was
it's
dead.
been a while, which
Some
means
people said
it was
he
well
might never
deserved.
return. Some people were
We were
hoping he
worried. We
might
were
never
worried.
return.
Yeah, we were also hopeful. Yep, that's what I was gonna say. Um, so are you rested and relaxed? Are you rejuvenated? Are you ready to go?
No, no. We hit it pretty hard, um, which was cool though. So we were hanging out for a couple days in Old Longboat Key, um, but because our time was kind of limited there, it was more like we got to hit the restaurants. We got to. By the way, I know I sent you that picture of me with my favorite waitress from my favorite restaurant of all time. Now, maybe it sounds a little trashy to have your favorite restaurant in the entire world be located in Sarasota, Florida, but to those naysayers, I say you got to try the linguine fettuccine, okay? And then you'll know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, you
What
got
is the
nothing to say to
what
me.
is the restaurant? I don't even think I've ever been to that restaurant.
No, I don't know that. I know you're going down soon, but I know you got a lot of people going with you. But if you can sneak away, maybe just you and the missus or something a little bit, fly. This is, I mean, I'm talking. This is primo. Also, tell them that you know me because um, it's called Cas Antica,
Yeah.
and it's in downtown Sarasota, right in the heart of America's favorite city, most famous city.
No.
And my
Yeah,
God,
the
it's
city
just
that never
incredible.
sleeps, right? Is that one?
Yeah, Sarasota, the city that
The
never
concrete
sleeps.
jungle? Yep.
Past did yeah, it was like we were sitting out there at 4 p.m. and I was like, Jesus Christ, the people here go to bed so early. They're starting to wake up for tomorrow right now. Um, but yeah, it's the best, and they might actually be moving. So I don't feel, but people should go there because it's amazing. Um,
How many times have you been there that you have a favorite waitress? That was one of my concerns.
I think I've only been there 4 times, including last week. But
You just
apparently,
make your
I've
presence
made an
known.
impression because I was like, hey, and she's like, oh, Andrew Canada, and so they had me because they might be moving buildings actually. So they had me write my name and phone number down just to make sure. So they'll like let me know the new address when they move.
Oh,
But my God, it was the best. It was truly um so
this
the
place must not get very many people in it, huh?
how dare you? How dare you? It's a select few. It's a select few. Um but yeah, I the the woman who co-owns the place, she always stands at the bar. She's watching everything, shouting out orders in Italian. It's incredible. She came over to
Ciao.
our table a couple times, and I was frozen with what's that? What do you call that?
You were starstruck.
I was starstruck, truly. And she, yeah, she comes over and she's like, "You guys need anything else?" And we're like, "No, no, no." And then I kind of like put my head down. I whispered to my wife. I was like, "Just your autograph," like just stuff like that. So then at the, so I'm talking to um, my favorite waitress who works there. We're catching up, obviously, as old friends often do. And at the end of the meal, especially because there might be moving locations, I was like, "Can we get a picture?" She goes, "Oh yeah, absolutely." So I stand up and go next to her, and I hand my phone to mom, who's sitting there with us, and she's like, "Oh, I thought you meant me. Take a picture of the four of you guys sitting at dinner." I was like, "No, absolutely not. I know these people's faces. I see them all the
Yeah.
time. I want a special picture. Okay, that's not what that's gonna get me. It was just
So
a
now, are you
lovely
gonna get it
experience.
framed?
It was
Are
just
you
a
gonna get it framed?
no, maybe if I find a good spot for it on the wall, a nice little frame or something like that. Um, oh boy,
So
we might have a little
what?
cat, might have a little celebrity cameo from the cat, but that's just the price of doing business. There she
Really
is.
love a celebrity cameo
Oh my
from the cat.
god, this
So
freaking cat is
um,
like a goddamn diva. Every time I get on a video call with everyone, she busts in the room. The rest of the time, she leaves me alone. As soon as the lights come up and the cameras come on,
yep,
she just fucking
she loves the camera.
she
She
loves it.
loves the
She can't get
camera.
enough.
So you hit your favorite spot,
Hit
Casa
the favorite
Antica,
spot,
and then where did we go? What happened?
and then it was time for Disney, and we stayed at the Polynesian, which is lovely. Here's the thing about Disney.
Is that
I
your
mean,
new? That's your new go-to spot?
dude, I love it there. I really like it there. Best again, but you know what? I remember last time I went, I was talking about how we ate at Ohana, the restaurant there, and because Ohana means horsecock, and
Yep.
I was talking about it was like the best meal I've ever had at like a Disney restaurant, specifically because of the chimichurri chicken. Um, but they changed it. They changed the chicken. It's like some kind of
Oh,
barbecue thing now. It's
it
still really good, and they still have like this lo mein that's amazing. The bread is incredible, but but now I get the opportunity to make my own chimichurri chicken. So it gave me a lot of great ideas for my new
you
culinary
so
endeavors.
you've been making some chimichurri, or you're planning
I'm
on it.
planning on making some chimichurri. Maybe that's what. Maybe that's the theme of the restaurant. You want me to open? Maybe that's what I'll
It's
make it.
all
I'll make it like
chimichurri based.
Polynesian themed.
That could be your staple menu item, the
Yeah,
chimichurri chicken,
it might not be. I
the
mean,
Ohana's
it's
chimichurri chicken.
Ohana's chimichurri chicken. I will say, Buffalo is such a great food city. I think anybody will tell you that. Um, but that's one place where we're a little. That's a blind spot in our culinary.
We don't have a
Uh,
ton of chimichurri.
we don't have a Polynesian type place, and clearly, I'm the guy to bring that to the people.
Hell yeah! What I say? That's doing business, Andy. That's doing business.
That's doing business. I mean, I already got this shirt. I don't know, Matthew. Maybe you convinced me to turn this one around.
We might have to check your ancestry DNA. I'm just saying. You
Oh,
might have a
dude.
sprinkle we don't know about.
A sprinkle of the islands. I've always felt very connected
Yeah,
to the land, to Mother Gaia, so it's possible.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but dude,
Well,
those
I know you love
ancestry.com
sand
things.
and walking around in your bare feet.
I
Those
didn't
are your
even
two
think
favorite
about that.
things.
Right. Yeah, I did walk on the beach only one time when we were down there, and I was pretty uncomfortable the entire time. I was not happy about it.
Shoes on or shoes off?
At first I had them on. I had my slides on, and I was like, these will maybe help a little bit. But then it just made them worse. And then the slides were gonna get sandy, and I don't want sandy slides, so I had to just raw dog the beach in my bare piggies, and it felt it felt pretty gross. Like they have like a feet washing station when you get off, so you can get the sand off of there. And I probably spent an
Yep.
extra 7 minutes, like just blasting. I didn't even actually use the foot washing station they had, because after the hurricane, there's got to regrow so much of the vegetation. They have these hoses out there that are like kind of a step down from fire hoses. So there was one just laying on the sidewalk, so I grabbed it and I fucking blasted my feet with that thing. For again, everybody else, they got off the beach and they were like, okay, wipe the feet in normal amount.
Boop boop.
They're headed back.
Yep.
The sun. It's getting dark. I'm hearing Florida coyotes coming out, and I'm still like, I gotta get
Yep.
the sand off.
I agree. I don't understand why you don't like sand on your feet at the beach, but the second I am no longer on the beach, I want sand nowhere in my vicinity.
Dude, I mean, it's probably the most relatable thing that Anakin Skywalker ever said. So, I hate sand. It's coarse, gets everywhere. I might be paraphrasing, but that's pretty much the iconic line. That's probably the most iconic Star Wars line of all time if I had to pick one. That and
For sure.
Yawana Wonga. Those are probably the two.
Yep,
Yawana
those are the
Wonga.
first two that come to my mind when anybody says, "What's your favorite Star Wars quote?" Most recognizable Star Wars quote.
Yawana Wonga.
Yep. Yeah.
I always attribute that
Any
to Bib Fortuna, but I think Jabba the Hutt actually says that. Regardless,
any key standout moments from your time at Disney World, or that was pretty much all she wrote?
it was a pretty chill time over there. You know, we got in like the week after all the spring breaks were done. So the 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks like leading up to this, the place was fucking, I mean, packed. You know, it was like when we went as little kids, like it was just
Yep.
people fucking everywhere. But luckily we went there in the middle of the week after all the schools like reopened, so it was pretty chill. You know, they were like, uh, you could tell they were kind of at like the staff was at half mast. Uh, you know, some
Yep.
only certain parts of like the big old lines were open and stuff. I'll tell
Nice.
you what, you know, the thing that I really don't like about Disney is, I mean, even as I'm saying, it was less crowded than normal. There's so many people, and
Yeah.
that's you know, and look, I hate to say it, but just a lot of fats, a lot of uggos walking
Oh yeah.
around. But I'll tell you what, dude,
Electric wheelchairs, as far as the eye can see.
just for miles and miles. But
Like
I'll tell
which
you what, at the end of the night, those fireworks are fucking going off, and they got the castle lit up, and there's music blasting all around the park. Those fats and those uggos, they know every word to every song. They're dancing, they're singing, they're having such a good
they
time.
have
It's
to
honestly, it was heartwarming. It was heartwarming, and far be it from
heartwarming
me
for the
to
Pats
judge
and the Uggos.
anybody having a good time,
Yep.
despite
Yep.
their
It
body mass index.
it's actually pretty ass backwards because the idea of a theme park in Florida where it's hot all the time too really should be the perfect place for the Fats and the Uggos, as you call them, to like exercise. Like it should be a perfect scenario for them to get some steps in and drop some lbs.
Yeah,
And instead, it's the exact opposite.
yeah. It's basically just
How
like
much?
a
How much
human
of
centipede of
Disney's?
churros and turkey
How much
legs.
of Disney's annual revenue do you think comes from motorized wheelchair rentals?
I don't know, dude. I actually didn't um, check the prices on them, but fucking they're making a mint off of stroller rentals. I can tell you that much because the
Yeah.
stroller rentals, one, it's like you know how, dude, you know how most things like if you go to a store, let's say you want to, I don't know, something like a just a bottle of water. Like a bottle of water is $1.50, but if you get two
Yep.
bottles of water, the second one's like $1. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
Yep.
at Disney, if you get a stroller for a single kid, it's $15 a day. If you get a double stroller, it's like $32 a day. So they just completely go nuts with it over there.
Supply and demand, brother.
Supply and
Not very
demand,
many
baby.
people go to Disney with one kid, so you got to jack up the price if you want one adult to have the capacity to push two children. It's going to cost, and you got to remember, double stroller takes up more space than a single stroller, so got to charge more for it.
Yeah, that's just the way it works, man.
That's
That's Walt's
basic
dream. That's
economics.
Walt's dream right there.
Yeah, Wall Street. That and a garbage can every 15 feet.
And that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be on
Yeah,
every street in America.
yeah. And the that color green. Those are his three passions. That color green that makes things like blend in, garbage cans every 15 feet, and and the price of a double stroller rental.
That's a trifecta, baby. Oh,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it was still a ton of fun. They have this Guardians of the Galaxy ride at Epcot now that's like unreal. Dude, I'll tell you what though. So,
Yeah, what's that about?
oh, I no spoilers because just people got to get on it. It's like a roller coaster. Um, it's got screens going. It's got music
Is it like
going.
Harry Potter ride esque,
Um,
like the one at the castle?
yeah, yeah. That's a pretty good comparison, but it's a little different for sure. There's less like practical elements to it. There's still some, but honestly, just because it moves so much faster than that ride. But damn,
Gotcha.
God, I feel like I know we say it all the time, but we got to get back to Universal. I want to go there so bad. So we haven't been in
Yeah,
so
I mean, I
long.
haven't even been to. The last time I was in Disney World was when we went
Yeah.
because you got, you were tying the knot, as they say.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff. Yeah, I mean, you didn't miss much here. Uh, yeah, I didn't do it. I pretty much haven't done anything in about a week and a half. Um, yeah, and I'm gonna kind of ride that train out. I'm just gonna keep riding it.
Well done. Why not? Um, Pope died. Dead Pope.
R.I.P. to the
So
Pope.
my phone's been ringing off the hook, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Just
Have you heard?
cardinals,
Have you?
bishops,
Yeah. Have you
everybody.
heard any rumblings from Concave if you're on the block or?
I'm on the docket. They got my name on the little pieces of paper that they'll slide into that big fucking jar where they keep Jesus' ashes or something. I don't know what's
Yeah.
in there, but
Yeah. So when I see that white smoke, let me know if you're in.
brother,
That would be really really big for this podcast specifically. I think if you were nominated Pope.
a papal podcast for the people,
Yeah.
dude. Also, White
Yeah. I
Smoke by the
think
May. That's my fucking nickname in high school. That's what they called me, the White Smoke.
where
Everywhere,
in
just on the street.
yeah in your uh imaginary version of high school that you created on Sims
Yeah, mostly behind closed doors.
or what's that game that Dwight plays, Second Life?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, it's my
Yeah.
second life. That's
Yeah.
my AOL chat username, White Smoke.
Well, it's not bad. I don't know if it's gonna stick now though. But
Oh, it'll stick. It'll stick. Andy the White Smoke Canada. Fucking, I wouldn't want to meet that guy in the ring.
have you been watching any of the NBA playoffs?
No, I haven't really had a chance to. Every time you walk past, like, I would walk past like a bar or something with a TV on. I'd try and catch like a quick scope of it. But
Quick glimpse.
yeah, but I've been like keeping track of like the scores or whatever on the app, or at least trying to. The honestly, the matchup that I was most excited for, at least in the East, was the Heat versus the Cavs, because the Heat, and the Heat, they had to get in through like the play-in tournament. Like they're like the lowest seed on the rung, obviously, if they're playing the Cavs. But they played really well in that. Although unfortunately now the Cavs are kind of uh, just annihilating them. So I
That'll
was a
happen.
little misplaced in that, but I think the Cavs are such an interesting team. I was talking about this with enemy of the podcast, Sam Phillips, because I think
Classic.
uh, you know uh, the perception, especially of today's NBA, is like it's all star based, right? Like if you have
Yes.
one superstar on a team, you can go to like the next level, whatever. Uh, the Cavs have a lot of great play. I mean, they have Donovan Mitchell and Jarrett Allen drafted by the Nets. Of course, the Nets traded him because he was playing really well, and that's what the Nets do. I digress. But they're not really like they don't have like a real fucking superstar, and yet number one seed in the East. They're playing great basketball.
It,
They know how to fucking close out games, and I think that they've got a lot of. It's the only thing that's going to potentially stop them is that basically exactly what I'm saying. Maybe these guys don't necessarily have like the playoff experience because again, traditionally NBA playoffs is kind of like a different game. But I think if you look at their competition in the East, the Knicks, they've got Cat and they've got Jalen Brunson, who's excellent, but they cannot fucking close out games to save their life. Like they are their games are always tight, and there's always a huge chance that they're just going to fall flat. I do think, though, that the Celtics might just run it back this year because after we saw them when we went to watch that game in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
um, obviously they have who Jalen Brown, but Jason, who's excellent, but also, but Jason Tatum is like the best basketball player I've ever seen live. Like watching him in person and seeing him on TV, it's like a completely different experience. Like he just has, it's like he's not even breaking a sweat. Like talk about making it look fucking easy. You know, people say that a lot in so many different areas, and I honestly never really got that. But that guy is like, wow, he's so good.
It's a big boy. It's a big human.
He's excellent. I mean, he's just got complete control, truly. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you heard it here first. Congratulations, Cleveland Cavaliers. Andrew has deemed them NBA champions. So
well, I
pretty
honestly
big
I
for
hope
them.
so because again, I love Jarrett Allen. I love a. I mean, how can you not love a big man with an afro first and foremost?
Do you
But
think
again, yeah.
do you think if the Cavs win, LeBron will find a way to take credit for their championship, even though he's playing, in LA?
Yeah, what a great question. You know, without a doubt, if because here's the thing about LeBron, he can all he has to do. I mean, he's such a he's the oldest man in the world, and he every single person that he is on a court with now grew up watching him, except maybe Al Horford, but everybody else. So of course he might as well just be like, yeah, you know, Donovan Mitchell probably wouldn't even have made it. This is my perfect LeBron impression, by the way. Hey, it's me, LeBron James. Let me tell you what, I'm a basketball player. I'm shooting it in the net. Oh, Luca, pass me the ball. I'm LeBron. I inspired, but you know,
Not
he's
bad,
like I
not bad.
inspired all the, you know, inspired everybody. So
Yeah,
might as well.
it's the house that LeBron built. Congratulations to LeBron for winning another NBA championship.
Congratulations to
Yep,
LeBron and the Cavs for taking it all the way this
yep.
year.
Have on the sports topic, are you familiar with the whole Shadur Sanders situation? Do you know who that
No,
is?
no.
So Shadur Sanders is son of Deion Sanders. He
Oh yeah,
was
okay.
Deion Sanders head coach now at Colorado, and his son Shadur was their quarterback, and then they had Travis Hunter, who was the Heisman Trophy winner this past year, the wide wide receiver and cornerback. Um, so Travis Hunter got drafted early in the first round by the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Shadur, um, they thought was going to go in the first round potentially for the longest time leading up to the draft. There then became some rumblings that maybe he was not going to go, and so if you don't know, the NFL draft night one is Thursday. It's just round one, and I think they do the same thing Friday with round. They might do. I don't know. They might do a couple rounds on with 2A and 3 on Friday, but um, he didn't end up getting drafted until the fifth round. Um, and it became this whole thing online because people were like, "Why is nobody drafting him?" Like this, that, the other thing. Have you ever seen the movie Draft Day?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so people were like, somebody must have found out that that none of his teammates attended his birthday party. There was a lot of speculation like that, but people were like super obsessed with the fact that he hadn't been picked yet, and I felt kind of bad for the kid because he had this one big draft party. Like he wasn't at the draft, which a lot of first round players I feel like go to. He had this like huge draft party at his own house, uh, and then obviously he didn't get drafted. So like people were just hounding him online, like, why is he not getting drafted? Like this kid stinks, like this, that, the other thing. I felt so bad for the poor kid. It seems like he had a pretty good attitude through the whole thing, but the spotlight with something like that just has to be brutal.
God, that is.
Like imagine having this huge party, all these people are over at your house, and you're sitting there through all 32 picks, just waiting for that phone to ring, and then that 30-second pick comes in, and it's not you, and you're like, "Hey guys, thanks for coming. Try again next time."
Oh man, God, these fucking. And he's. I mean, how old is this guy? He's like 20 or something.
Early 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Fuck.
and he's because his dad is Deion Sanders, he's very famous, and
Yeah.
yeah, the poor kid was just in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons this past week. But hey, he got drafted in the fifth round. He's going to the Cleveland Browns. You know, guess now he's got some extrinsic motivation.
Hell yeah, dude. I mean, hey, if you got a chip on your shoulder, Cleveland Browns not a bad team to get, to get sent to. I feel like that's a place where
Unless you're
nobody's
unless you're
expecting
Baker
anything.
Mayfield.
So you got a
That
shot.
was such a deep cut reference I just made.
I know. I'm sorry. I missed it.
He had Baker Mayfield injured his shoulder in Cleveland, and they made him play with an injured shoulder, and he played really bad because he's quarterback. And yeah,
Yeah, you need your shoulder for that. That's what I hear. I don't know. I'm not a
yeah.
football guy.
But he's got some pretty big competition because Deshaun Watson also Cleveland Browns quarterback. So
Oh
you
fuck, I
got to
forgot
be
about that.
careful.
Well,
You got to be careful around there.
he's got a lot of distractions. That guy. He's got a lot on his mind and a lot on his downstairs.
Don't
So
we
what are you gonna
all?
do? Hmm?
Don't we all, Andy?
Um. There's another thing I keep meaning to bring up to you, that I keep forgetting. So this is kind of old news now, but you know, Alan Cummings, from what's that show? Traders, right on Peacock.
Oh, is that the guy? That's his name.
Yeah, who's Floop as well.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Floop.
obviously, absolute legend, just truly the coolest guy. I was actually just rewatching Broad City, and he made an appearance in one of those episodes. Just unbelievable. So here's the deal. Marvel, obviously, they're trying to get things revved up again. They're making some big announcements. Avengers Doomsday. That's going to be their next huge fucking movie. A lot of the cast announcements just came out for that. A lot of surprises. Massive cast. Alan Cummings is returning as Nightcrawler, who he portrayed in the second X-Men movie from like 2002 or whatever it came out. But he's back. And he actually posted this great video. I don't know if he's at his house or whatever, but he's on like this massive staircase, and he's just like jumping around like this. Like he's just having a good like he's not taking it too seriously. He's just having a good fucking time with it. And I'm just very excited to see a man of that caliber being placed in a huge movie like that again.
What is the look? This is going to open up Pandora's box that I don't know if I'm ready to get into. But what is Avengers Doomsday like? What are the villains slash superheroes in it, and who is Nightcrawler? And yeah,
Beautiful. So Avengers Doomsday is gonna be uh, the movie where the new Doctor Doom, RDJ's Doctor Doom, is like the big bad guy, and this is gonna be the movie where the Avengers and the X-Men and the Fantastic Four all finally like meet and come together. So it's gonna be
ah,
a really big deal, and then it's also gonna lead up to Secret Wars, Avengers Secret Wars, which is like one of the probably the biggest Marvel comics book story of all time. And Nightcrawler is this guy right here. Oh, he's this little
you
blue
had him
fella,
ready.
huh?
Oh, it looks like what's that guy's name?
Alan
It
Cummings.
looks like him.
I know,
Yeah.
and he did a fucking great job. It was interesting because he only was in the second X-Men movie, and then he didn't want to do the third one because I think the makeup took like a million years. But now they've got it down to 90 minutes, which is fucking cool. Anyways, Nightcrawler, he's like the probably he's definitely my top three favorite X-Men of all time. He's one of the best.
Okay.
Everybody loves him. He's like the coolest guy, because obviously, like, the thing about him is he looks like this, but and so everybody like treats him like shit because they're afraid of him. But he never like has a bad thing to say about anybody. He just takes it all in stride. Just like, I'm just gonna be the best me I can be.
I didn't even know there was like an extended cast of X-Men. I mean, I knew that there was Wolverine and wheelchair guy
Yeah,
and the big metal one,
yeah.
um, and that mean teenage girl and her
Oh, from
girlfriend.
Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are
yeah,
they in
yeah.
X-Men? That's as far as I. That's as far as I thought they extended. I
I
didn't
mean, that's a
realize their
pretty good
outreach
fucking
was quite
group
that
right
big.
there. But dude, there's
Yeah.
like so I mean, I'll try not to go too long on this. Um, but X Men was one of the original titles that Jack Kirby and Stan Lee put together for Marvel in 1962, along with like Spider Man, Fantastic Four, Avengers, and all that. But it was like the worst selling of all those books, so they just like stopped it. But then in 1975, Marvel brought it back because the idea was their comics were selling really well in like Europe, so they wanted to create a team of like international uh, superheroes. So
You just
they
got a
were like,
floating bubble.
I don't know what that was.
Wow, that's kind of cool.
You can do all kinds of stuff on this thing.
Sorry.
Um,
Continue.
no, so they created this new team of X Men with different mutants from all over the world, and it became so popular that then it spawned like a ton of other new X Men titles, X Force, New Mutants, like all this crazy stuff. So there's literally hundreds of X Men.
E Bombay. Do they do that?
No, maybe we'll get one or two. The, I
Okay.
Black Panther I think is gonna the new T'Challa is gonna show up in Avengers Doomsday 2, I think. So
Okay.
big shoes to fill,
All
but
right.
you gotta have a T'Challa. You'll never beat old Chadwick, but you gotta have a guy. You gotta have a Black Panther. And I don't think
Donald
that
Glover.
I mean the actress who played Suri, I think she really was not having a good time with it. At least that was like a rumor floating around. So, anyways, what are you gonna do?
She didn't like the upgrade, huh?
That was the word on the street. I mean that. I don't know what the deal was,
She
but
wanted to be she wanted to be she wanted to be Ned. She wanted to be the man in the chair.
she wanted to be the man in the chair, which she was great at doing. But I think I don't know if they like treated her very well over there. Like I mean it's all
Yeah.
speculation. I don't really know, but just a lot of
All right.
rumors and stuff going
We
around.
won't
So
speculate. We won't speculate.
I hate to speculate. I love a
I
spectacle,
got
but I
you
hate to speculate.
I know I'm not gonna see you this week, but I got you your birthday present, and it's pretty fucking sick.
A birthday present for me,
A birthday present for you.
but you're not going to tell me what it is right now.
No, well, I have to give it to you,
Okay, because you
but
gave
I
me
just
that
wanted to tee it up.
awesome jacket, and I thought that was a birthday present.
No,
You didn't have to
that
give
was
me
a
that
gift
though.
of love. That
Oh,
was a
thanks,
gift of
Matthew.
love. Yeah, this is a gift that I purchased. Yeah, through a series of online marketplaces.
Interesting. Couple of back channels, eh?
Yeah,
It's not Hitler's
had
teacup,
to
is
talk
it?
to had to, I fucking wish it was, dude, because I've started watching White Collar again, and I literally just before we got on, the reason I was 5 minutes late was because I'm right in like I just ended the U-boat episode.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Um, yeah, yeah, no, it's pretty serious.
I know I texted you this, and I don't necessarily want it It doesn't have. I just want it for me, but we got to do Matthew Canada's oral history of white collar. I just need that to exist. Even if I just record it from my own personal archives, I could listen to you like go through the whole timeline of that series for as long as it fucking takes. And we might have to take a couple breaks in between, I know. But my God, I mean that
I
just
got
sounds like
I'm
perfect
in.
Sunday.
I'm in. That sounds like a great idea. I actually got a text from a buddy of mine the other day who's a huge St. Louis Blues fan. He's from St. Louis, and his St. Louis Blues are playing the Stanley Cup playoffs right now. And they lost um, the other night, and he texted me. Was listening to Two in the Cooler to try to cheer myself up after the Blues loss. I cannot believe you've watched that many seasons of NCIS. He's like, that is outrageous.
Well,
I'm like, listen,
most
you have if you're gonna commit, you gotta commit.
amen. And most NCIS fans don't live that long, so you're probably in a very select group.
Yeah, I could be one of the longest standing.
I would say so. They should invite you on set.
I
You should get a
wonder.
tour.
I've seen. I don't. I've seen things like that. Like there should be a place where you can get stats, like on like the random stats on your life. Like I wonder where I rank in percentile in terms of like NCIS fans. Like, am I a top 1%er? You think?
I don't know. I
Probably
feel like
not. There's probably some rip. Like, I wonder if they have a convention. I know I've brought up a convention to you recently, but other side notes, like things that have conventions, we need to start like involving ourselves in more conventions. And things that don't have conventions, we should start conventions for.
okay.
Like anything that you're passionate, like, is there a chimichurri chicken convention? If not, how are we not hosting that?
At least there's going to be a festival.
Yeah, yeah, the Buffalo, New York Chimichurri Chicken Festival.
We close down Main Street for a hot
Sign me
second.
up.
Everybody's having a
Yeah.
good ass time.
Or another thing that we could do too is we could do worlds like this sucks. This idea is so bad. But like how people do like world's shortest
Oh,
parade, like
yeah, yeah.
holiday parade. We should do like world's smallest convention, and we just set up like one booth in a giant like convention center, and just like only like we'll sell one ticket. Just like one person comes.
Oh, that's so funny. That is not a bad idea, Matthew. That's fucking amazing. I think we shouldn't even set up like a table. We should just have a TV tray with
A
like
TV tray, yeah.
one sticker, one water bottle, and I think we should go. I think we should go pretty heavy on the banner. I'm gonna be honest with you. The banner should be the
Big
one thing
banner,
that like looks really
yeah.
great.
And I also think we should fully staff it. So we should have security there. We should have like uh, a person to greet the one and only guest and like give them the full VIP treatment. Walk
Let's
them
get
right
some.
over to the TV tray.
Let's get some little meatballs circulating, some bacon wrapped
Yep,
scallops.
yeah. Or oh yeah, we need hors d'oeuvres. We're gonna need hors d'oeuvres for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great idea. We'll write that down.
Yep, yep. I'll get on that. I'll work on that.
World's smallest convention. That's too good.
Yeah. World's smallest convention. And imagine that, Andy. Stay with me here. So take what you're picturing
Yeah.
and shrink it.
That is.
Whatever you're thinking, half that size at max.
Guys, everyone is thinking so big. Everyone's thinking so outside the
Think
box.
small.
Think smaller. Think smaller.
I think we're
Incredible.
onto something. You want to do the old Who of the week?
Yes. I'm just writing down think smaller.
Yep. Yeah.
Just so I can
We'll
put that
keep
on
that in
my
mind at our next.
bathroom mirror so I
Yeah.
look at that every morning.
Yeah. But can I tell you something, Andy?
Mm-hmm.
You should put it on your bathroom mirror. Super big.
I'll call the banner people. I'll call my banner guy right
Yeah.
now. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
This Who Would Win, I am legitimately very excited for because let's get into it. The Who Would Win of the week this week is The Accountant versus Dexter. The Accountant, Ben Affleck's. I don't even. I know he's got a name. I don't want to use it. Call him The Accountant. Okay? From the movie The Accountant and the sequel The Accountant 2,
Yeah.
out in theaters now. And of course Dexter from the famous Showtime show Dexter. Uh God, what a great battle.
Well, I'll start by saying a few things. First of all, I have not yet seen The Accountant 2. I do love the original The Accountant, so I do plan to watch it. But I and listen, because it's Affleck, I ain't worried. But Den of Thieves was the first movie sequel that like resonated with me in terms of like sometimes more isn't always sometimes you got to think smaller. This is, like sometimes you don't need the sequel. So I'm a little bit nervous, but regardless of that, I think that Ben Affleck's character, the accountant, is one of the coolest characters of all time. One, keep in mind he has an all-time man in the chair on his side. Um, I don't. It's not his sister, but it's his like friend from that home. You
Yeah.
know what I'm talking
Right.
about?
Yeah.
Um, he is very, very calculated, super smart, um, able to overcome things like mentally, physically. Like he doesn't get, part of him being how he is like he kind of lacks emotion in a lot of senses. So he doesn't get clouded. Like that's his whole thing because he has to fight his brother at the end of the first movie, and he does a lot of training specifically to make sure that nothing, affects him. Like he just is task oriented. He gets a goal and he completes it, and he is super rich. He's a killer, and physically he's you know a monster. He beats the shit out of everybody that gets in his way, and he shoots a lot of people, and the whole nine there. Dexter, on the other hand, is a sociopath. I guess is that the correct
He's a
term?
full psychopath.
He's a psychopath. So
Yeah.
his advantage is one, like again, he had no problem killing people. So this fight's definitely nobody's walking away from this one. Somebody's definitely dying.
Yeah.
Um, but two, he has that ability to, manipulate and kind of work his way around things. Now, here's the problem. I think if there were a crossover series where the accountant showed up in the town that Dexter, was it Miami or somewhere in Florida, right?
Yeah, I think it is Miami. It's somewhere close there.
Um, like, dude, the accountant would see right through Dexter instantly. He would be like, yo, you guys do realize that this guy that you're hiring to help solve these murders is the one committing them, right? Like he'd be like, this is the most obvious thing I've ever seen in my life. Like this is your guy. It would be, I mean, he'd open one group spreadsheet, one Excel document, and he'd be like, dude, it's fucking Dexter. He's obviously the murderer. How have you guys not? There's an entire police department surrounding this guy. So I don't know. I think with that in mind and the physical attributes, like I automatically start to lean towards the accountant. But again, you can never count out a psychopath.
Yeah, and I'll say, you're absolutely right that the accountant would honestly game recognized game. Like the accountant would be like, "Oh yeah, this guy is absolutely a serial killer." You're right in that. I don't know how much that would actually help him in this fight though. Really just realizing that. Um Dexter, I will say, also like really in shape, really strong. I can't, it's
Yeah,
been a while since I've watched the series, so I don't know if he's like trained exactly a lot, but he can hold his own in a lot of ways. Maybe not with the accountant necessarily, but um, you know, the accountant obviously is rich. He's the best at what he does. That's why people come to him. But Dexter, he doesn't need all that. he does it for the love of the game, and I think Dexter has definitely killed more people than the accountant just because it's his fucking hobby. The accountant, that's his job, and it's what he's great at, and he knows how to
Yeah,
capitalize on that.
yeah.
Dexter,
I
whether
gotta
he was,
rewatch that movie
I mean, I'm definitely doing a
and see how
rewatch
many
before I watch
people.
a sequel. Um,
I gotta see how many people he actually kills. But he is like military trained in some way, shape, or form,
oh yeah,
and
no,
he
he's
does
he's
fuck a
killed.
lot of people up
I
because he
mean,
deals with a
he's
lot of dangerous people.
yeah, and he's hitting double digits for sure. But Dexter is like, I mean, that guy is just.
Yeah, he be
I mean,
killing.
some people golf, some people cover a room in plastic and cut people open. That's just the way. That's just the way the world works. I hate to break it to you, folks, but that's just the way the world works. Um,
Yep. Yeah. Hey, listen, you nailed it. Right, right there.
so at the end of the day, this is really really close, and
It does.
not for
I
nothing,
do agree with you. Oh, go ahead.
not for nothing. But Dexter is hiding in plain sight to all these regular people. The accountant, like we said, is going to see through that. But not for nothing, Dexter has worked himself into this position somehow where he's doing the most killing and he's like the least suspect guy, which is
Yeah.
impressive.
But
Again,
the
if that's really going
accountant
to help him
the
with fight,
accountant
I
is
don't know.
kind of like that too though. He just lives in his plain old house, and he has his one fork, one spoon, and one knife,
Yeah.
and you know, he
Well,
just goes about his business, and then he's got his secret assassin trailer.
here's the thing about the accountant that you have to realize. You have to realize he's got more in common with Einstein than he does with us. Okay, that's what people need to recognize in terms of the accountant. Um, I
I do agree with your point where like Dexter killing for the love of the game is a lot different than what the accountant does. He kills because that's the task in front of him oftentimes.
yeah,
Um, I
he
don't know
kills.
that
Sorry,
he would want to like he doesn't kill out of passion.
yeah, the
Whereas
accountant
Dexter,
kills as if he's solving a
this
Rubik's cube.
this could be a classic. This could be a classic Cleveland Cavaliers example of sometimes heart beats talent. Um, Hard work beats talent. If talent doesn't work hard, not that the accountant doesn't work hard, but I do think Dexter's going to want this one. He's going to want this one as a notch in his belt. All that being said, sometimes talent is still enough to get you there, and I think this is that. I think the accountant's just too talented. I think he's too talented.
I do, for one thing, because Dexter is living this double life, the accountant doesn't mess with that. Like, Dexter has, I think, a lot more to lose, and he's got distractions, even though he's a psychopath, that the accountant just doesn't have. And I think that the accountant's temperament and his training, I am taking the accountant. I think this is a great fucking battle, but I'm taking the accountant on this one. That's where my money's got to go.
I love it. Vote on that on Instagram on Friday. Clean sweep for the accountant over Dexter. Yeah, great battle there. Big fan of that one. Got to see the accountant too. It'll be on my list.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it.
Um, yeah, I wonder if I can. I would love to go to the movie theater more, but I just don't. I know you're a big. I know we've had this conversation before. Like that would be one. Like I'd love to be like, hey, let's go watch this in theaters and eat some pretzel bites and some popcorn. But I'm not going to. I'm probably going to spend $20 to rent it here, watch half of it, and then get distracted, and then come recap at least the beginning of it for you next time we chat.
Yeah, I think movie theaters will probably come back. It's I mean, we're just living in such a different time for that sort of thing, but I do think that when I do go to the theater, I do still see a lot of families going. I think it's a really good
Yeah,
place to like bring your kids and stuff and obviously just based on experience like that's what creates more interest like the
yeah.
because of
Families and couples, like stuff like that. But I feel
yeah.
like, and maybe it was just because like you're in that age, but I feel like I used to go to the movie theater with my friends a lot,
Yeah.
and I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, but I do think just because of like the time that we're like existing in post COVID and with this huge streaming introduction, like the kids growing up now, obviously they have that already. So um, I think a lot of people our age see like going to the movie and streaming in a way as interchangeable. But again, I think it's going to
Yeah.
be maybe more of a novelty. Sounds like I'm putting it down a little bit, but I think that the next generation of kids, they are going to, it's the interest in going to the theater is going to grow again.
It's like the drive-in.
Kind of like the drive-in, but
That's
that's not a
novelty though.
great example
You're
because I
you
do think those are
yeah.
still dying. But
Drive-ins are. I mean, there's like yeah. I know of one.
yeah, yeah. Um, but I think
Yeah.
movie theater is gonna be all right. It's I mean it's still in a lot of ways the best way to watch a flick.
Yeah. All right, Andy. You got anything else for us here as we wrap things up? I know a little bit of a different epi today coming at you from the old Zoom cam, but trying
Yeah.
to make it happen for the people.
Well, not too much. I mean, there's a couple things that I want to save for when we have more time to talk about. Let's see. There's one thing I heard about. There's this 12-year-old kid who's teaching a calculus class at NYU, and you see sometimes like these really smart like
Do you know
doogie
how easy this
howsers,
is for me?
and he is Asian, well considered, Matthew, um, well inferenced. Actually, I don't think he is, but
That had nothing to do with Asians. That was Goodwill Hunting.
I know, but it sounded a little more like
My
fuck. Now
Southie
I now
accent
you're
is
gonna now you're trying to trick me into
yeah,
doing an Asian accent, okay? But I'm not
yeah.
replacing the L's and will with R's, okay? Don't even try to get me to do that because it's not gonna work. Um, but do you think that? How do you think you would react if your college course was being taught by a child, someone who can't even drive?
Well, so this is gonna sound bad because part of me is like, hey, listen, you got to learn from people that are better than you at the stuff that you're not good at yet. But if I was like a 20-year-old college kid paying $70,000 a year to go to NYU, and there was a 12-year-old teaching me my calculus class, I would be like, this fucking nerd. This is a joke. I'm out of here.
I mean, but maybe this kid is like super fucking good at calculus. I mean, obviously
Here's the
he
thing
is.
though, like he might be very good at calculus, but how good of a teacher is he? I feel like it's hard to be a good teacher at 12 years old. Like
It
you can be fucking nails at calculus. Cause like, dude, I mean, I'm good at a lot of shit. I don't know if I'd be good at teaching it.
you have to think of numbers like Paw Patrol
Yeah.
in that.
So, yeah. Did you see this? Did you see last week's episode of Bluey? Yeah. So if we take like that, like how you gonna relate? Although that fucking he probably just watch it. He probably watches 60 Minutes. That's his favorite TV
Right.
program.
Fuck, that's sad. That's
Yeah.
really sad. You got to be watching Power
And
Rangers,
also,
dude.
like, if you're a kid genius, everybody knows. It's just like if you're a super rich person, like, don't do weird shit, just buy a sports team. If you're a fucking super smart kid, don't be a professor. Hack NASA. Do some cool shit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Have NSA show up at your door and your parents be like, "What? Our little Jimmy could never." And then he's just upstairs, click clacking away. You
Dude,
know,
that's how you
that's
get the
that's what you
best
should do
jobs.
if you're a child genius. If you're a child genius, embarrass like the government's smartest people. Don't teach calculus at NYU. Kid's
Yeah,
got his priorities all wrong.
you're wasting your talents trying to educate people.
Yeah,
You need to be manipulating the system.
there's yeah, and then grow up and be a fucking janitor. Like that is boom. That your script is already written. Yeah.
The blank page is before you, you know? Oh, that's good.
Yep.
I definitely think it'd be very easy to
If
like
you were a
get
12-year-old
extensions
genius,
on
would you be like, hey, I
assignments.
want to teach a class at NYU, or would you be like, hey, I'm gonna hack NASA?
Oh,
Because if you're
dude, I
good at
would.
calculus, I mean, if he's good, if he's that good at calculus, he's got to be a whiz on the keyboard,
Oh yeah,
right?
you can't know calc without hacking. You know what I mean? They go hand in hand.
Yeah, math. I think it's math. I think it's a
Yeah,
lot
it's
to do
all
with
all
math.
math. It's all math, dude.
Yeah, it's all math. Well, Andy, glad to see Vacation Andy back. That always brings a smile to my face. He's a different man,
Yep.
but vacation or no vacation, I love you.
Love you too. Thanks for doing it over Zoom. Thanks, folks. Let's get out of here.